Hi guys, I'm Shmi and today I'm visiting Stratstones of Mayfair, the Jaguar dealership here bang in the centre of London, and in fact part of the same dealer group, Stratstones, as Aston Martin Park Lane, who supplied my Vantage GT8. But today I'm here to take a look at something substantially older. We're going to be heading downstairs to the basement to check out one of just 6 in the world of the new recreation of the Jaguar lightweight E-Types. Now these are worth £1.5 million. It is very, very special, and it is awesome that Stratstones, who own one of the 6 cars as part of the dealer group, are taking it around the country, showing it and letting people come in and have a look. So we're going to head inside now, go past the F-Base, which is quite nice in its own right, and check it out. In we go, and lurking under here is the door through which the car is going to come shortly, but we'll go straight past the F-Pace for the moment, where we have a very blue showroom back here, the F-Type at the front. But let's head straight downstairs. Down we go, and there it is, lurking at the back. So let's come straight through and take a look at this remarkably beautiful machine. On the sort of basic level, it's a Jaguar E-Type, instantly recognizable, that incredibly long front bonnet, ultra stylish design, and even to this day, they look fantastic, becoming very rare, sought after collectible cars in any variant. Now this, the lightweight, the modern recreation, the one of 6, has a whole new story to it as well. When Jaguar was sort of successful with their Le Mans races, with the C-Type, the D-Type, achieving lots of victories, that was when they then released the E-Type. The E-Type went on to be extremely popular, very successful, lots of sales, and that sort of took priority over racing. But in 1963, they created a VIN series of 18, but only 12 were ever built, of the lightweight E-Types with the aluminium body. Fast forward to 2014, and Jaguar realised that they had these 6 remaining, or missing, chassis numbers for the lightweight E-Types, and introduced this, the modern version of it, to pay tribute to that and to complete the full series. So this car is the 3rd of the newer examples. It's number 15 overall, and Stratstones are using it as a display car. It's heading to all sorts of events, private events, public events, and allowing people the opportunity to see it up close and take a look around. It's been to Le Mans, hence it's still got the sort of 3rd brake light there at the rear, but it's basically built in modern day, but using all of the original sort of tooling, the styles, the techniques, to basically be a period car. So it's very, very special in every way and every sort of aspect that's gone into making it. Let me come and show you the interior quickly. Everything is, I guess, perfect, as if it was brand new, but in this old sort of style. You can see you've got the large steering wheel with the wooden, the very thin wooden surround, the original dials, or original looking dials, only 270 miles on the clock in this car, but everything in here is, well, it smells like brand new leather, and it's lovely the way it's finished. Now the roof panel lifts off, so you can see the roll cage that would then be revealed for racing. Jaguar never had quite the same success with the E-Type at that period as the C-Type and the D-Type had, because Aston Martin and Ferrari came along to stoke the fire and start the competition there, but you've got their sort of iconic dot on the door and bonnet of the racing livery as well. So being able to see it, being able to take a look at it is exceptionally special. You've got a 3.4 litre 6-cylinder engine up here. Because the thing weighs so little, that engine is even built out of aluminium rather than iron. The body is all aluminium. It obviously gives you quite a lot of performance in something very small. I like the way it's strapped down with the sort of leather straps and buckles down there. It's a really, really good looking machine, and very, very iconic in what it represents, what it stands for. So it was an awesome thing that they introduced, and it's great to be able to come and have a look at it here. Now, while I'm here in this visit, it's actually going to be moved out through that lift system, upstairs, and out to be loaded to be taken to an event. So I'm hoping I might be able to hear it. In any case, we'll be able to see it just moving into slightly different light and get to enjoy what is a very rare, very valuable, very special collector car. First step, down goes the floor. Fascinating. That is rather trippy. And the car's just the other side of the doors down there. But the hole has opened up. And as if by magic, up comes the car. I always think it's amazing to see the view of the car right above like this. Makes for some spectacular photos. You just get a completely different perspective on it than you do normally. I think I might have been slightly wrong with the engine earlier. I think it's a 3.8 litre straight six. 160 brake horsepower. Wonderful. And there we go. Great. Into life it comes. The smell of fuel as well. See you circulating the fuel through the engine there before bringing it to life. Just have a quick glance at the aluminium engine that makes that possible. Lightweight, straight six. Fasten back in before the car gets taken outside. The noise is awesome. It's very special to be able to see one of these, 6 in the world. Most of the others, museums, private collections, probably never to be seen. It's really weird to think, looking at it, that this is actually built 2 years ago. This is not a 1960s car, just with all of the tooling and all of the construction techniques of the 60s. Is out. So that was very efficiently done. This is now going on the truck. Isn't it funny to think that this was, or the originals of this were the supercars of their day, the equivalents of the sort of cars that I often film now. I mean, compare this to say oh, that went in under the California T very quickly. Compare that to say like the Lamborghini Veneno or some of those kind of cars that I'm filming these days. That just went in, straight in and done. Farewell, farewell, lightweight E-Type. Amazing to see, brilliant Stratstone to sort of allow people, I guess, to come and see this and to take it to different events and things. Just watching out for a hole in the road just in front of me. But I think it's quite cool how some of the companies are doing this. You've also got the Aston Martin DB4 GT, bring back to life kind of a modern recreation of the old car, and you can see why. Obviously it's sales, it's revenue, it allows an opportunity to put some more money back into the bank to develop the new cars. And as investments, I'm sure they are pretty good things to be getting involved with, going to the clients of the different manufacturers. One of the things that I sometimes think is a little bit of a shame almost is that I know a video like this of a car like this on my YouTube channel is never going to get as many views as if this was a new Ferrari or a Lamborghini. But this thing is really, really special. I don't know how I can really explain that to you guys. 6 in the world. It has a lot of historical significance, even though it's a brand new machine. Its value is obviously very, very high. And just look at it, what it is and what it represents. This is truly, truly spectacular. Way more so than some of the stuff I'll put on video. But I guess that's just the way, because it's not necessarily new and it's a classic car. So I'd be interested to know why you guys don't necessarily, although I know the people who would answer this comment are the people who do, why there's not so much interest for something like this than the latest, most in your face anyway. It is rather wet and miserable out here, as you can probably tell. I wouldn't be too surprised if I got rain splatters all over my camera lens. But a big thanks to Stratstones for inviting me down to come have a look at this today, see it, hear it just out and about, moving out onto the truck.
Anyway, I'm off to a lot of other things in the very near future, so it's going to be very busy right here on the 2150 channel. But as always, guys, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.